everybody, and welcome to the Dead Unicorn Tabletop Role-Playing Game Club. My name is Corey, and I'm here with Tarek, and we are checking out Legend of the Five Rings and making the rules, I don't know, more to our liking.
For us. Yeah.
I don't like...
Let me know when you're starting the
We
stream.
already started.
We started.
I'll turn you off now.
I don't like to say... Last time I said, hey, we're making the rules better, like, people got offended. Like, how dare you better? And I'm just like, well, they're better for me, for my, like...
Yeah.
For my gaming
my
group,
preference.
for everybody I know. And you're not a person, writer out there who wrote this game. You're a name in a book.
Exactly. How do we know that's not a pseudonym?
Yeah. How do we know you're not AI?
I'd say what we're trying to do is fix inconsistencies that exist in the ecosystem, right?
Yes.
So, like, whether that's improvement or just like a side grade is debatable, but we're trying to do things that will make the game itself more like pleasant to interact with for us.
For us.
Yeah.
And if you like these changes,
Then
you
maybe
can
it's more
use
pleasant for
them.
No big deal.
Please take this seriously. We're taking this seriously.
We are. So I went ahead and updated our document to include sections for ranged weapons and armor.
Oh, let me
So
get
we
that.
can kind of blow through those.
That's our
I also
L5R
added
map. We should
note
go.
sections.
There we
and
go.
Quality sections for those as well.
Sorry about that. I had the L5R map and not the
No worries.
not your document that you painstakingly made. Very important that we see that.
I have tried to make it as nice to look at as possible.
So
it's not great, but it's better.
We are taking, let's go to book view. We are taking this right here, this table, ranged weapons, and we're going to change it into this. And we're not going to go tit for tat here. We're not, a lot of these are going to stay the same. Some of them are going to change. I think damage and deadliness is the ones we're concerned with the most, but also some qualities that we've decided to add. In fact, when it comes to bows and arrows, I think arrows are one of the best things in this book because they made every arrow unique and interesting to use for every circumstance.
I did not add a section for arrows, but we should add a section for arrows, maybe in notes.
Let me say that again. Not for every circumstance, for specific circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out our comments. Yes?
Yeah.
We've been gone for 2 weeks, so I got to go 2 weeks back. And now I have a lot of like comments from other videos. Thank you guys, everybody who's been watching my stuff. I very much appreciate it. Oh, here we go. 2 weeks ago. This is from Will Mendoza 8489. I guess I'll say names now. I don't care. Having talked to polearm martial artists in my own group, Vincento one-handed is wild.
Yeah.
I've not seen this.
It is tough to imagine how someone would be strong enough to wield that kind of a bulky weapon one-handed, but I assume like you could possibly make a stabbing motion with it, maybe. I don't think it would be super effective, but I think we covered that by having it be very short range to use as a one-handed weapon. Not getting all of the bonuses. Yeah.
From Bruno Batello, I'll say this: who would want to use this instead of X? Specifically about the Wakizashi, sometimes you don't want to use it, but you have to use it. It does not have to be the best option for some characters, for some character builds to be useful. Sometimes it's just the only weapon you have available because they're ceremonial. Even so, it's not optimized, and Even though it's
Yeah,
not
the short
optimized,
version.
it will appear in the Chronicle. This is an interesting argument because I like to make every weapon, while not the most useful, like have
Not the
something
most optimal.
interesting going on for it that makes it like
Mhm.
that gives it some sort of give and take, some sort
Yeah.
of like, even if the benefit is slight, it's kind of like, oh, there's a thing going on here. But I get it, some things are just not good to be using.
The Wakizashi is unique in that it can be used at range 0, which effectively makes it useful in close quarters combat. So, like, when you're inside of a house that has tight hallways, you can use this way more effectively than
Mm-hmm.
a larger weapon, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what the Wakizashi was intended
And
for. So I think
unfortunately
it fits like that.
unfortunately there are no rules for that in the core rulebook. But there are rules in the tactics book, the warfare
Yeah.
book. There's a new terrain, which is squeezing terrain, which will make range 0 weapons way more useful. That's kind of cool. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
He also says, I feel this video was a lot about simulationism, but you see, if we go that path, this entire table is somewhat useless because historical samurai never used 80% of the weapons. Uh, I viable weapons table comes down to what are the general staples that must be the best options for different builds that use them. Right. And we might go back, like when we're like, wouldn't it be great if there was like a build for this, and we make new techniques for it. We might go back and be like, well, this weapon needs change now.
Mhm.
That might happen. But yeah, I am obsessed with weapon type builds and being like a knife specialist or a polearm. The only one they have in L5R currently is a polearm specialist or a sword person. So of course
Yeah.
they have Iijitsu stuff for swordsmanship for quick draw weapons. And they have specific polearms techniques.
And ranged weapons like bows.
They do
They have a
have
lot
bow
of bow
techniques,
techniques.
but they don't have any like knife techniques or blunt weapon techniques that,
Yeah, they kind of all
really,
meld in together.
yeah,
A
that
lot
really
of the
take
techniques are just
advantage
like
of that. There should be better.
there are a couple. I think more were introduced in the Ronin book where they were like, "Oh, if you're using a blunt weapon or a blah blah blah, then it's like these TNs change." Look at you, Superman.
Oh, sorry. I just my pants were not being
No, we get
comfortable.
it.
I had
We
to.
get it. You just wanted to show off the Superman emblem.
I mean, I
Okay.
like Superman. He's an inspirational character.
Yeah.
I really like him. You know I like him. You know I don't like meatheads who work out all day and then get a Superman tattoo on them, because that's not what Superman's about.
That's true.
I got a journalism degree because I love Superman.
Yeah. But you don't wear glasses,
Oh,
Mr. Clark
oh,
Kent.
hold on. Ah, there. Now you can't recognize me.
Huh, where'd you go? Where's Corey? I was talking to Corey just a moment ago. Where'd he go?
So yeah, Superman. I could go into that all day, but we don't have time for that. So I made a comment. I agree that we can't be doing just simulationism. We
Mhm.
do need to embrace the fantasy aspect.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
yeah, definitely. Bitterman Andy says, because there's a conversation around this, there's a balance to be struck. Neither extreme simulation or fantasy seems likely to be very satisfying. No, it
Exactly.
doesn't. We
The
have to
balance.
think about simulationism when we do this.
For our tactical minded players, you want to make sure that there's enough meat there to engage them on their level. And then as well, you want to have the ability to kind of suspend disbelief sometimes and lean into the rule of cool when appropriate, because
So
those are going to be
a,
for the more fantasy.
a good example is nunchucks, discussed in the previous video. Everyone knows they're deadly in the hands of a skilled user and they can be used to block and grapple, but they are dangerous to the user, bouncing off and hitting them in their own face if they're not careful. Trouble is, none of that is true. It's all pure fiction from kung fu movies. They look cool and people want their ninja PCs to use them. So sure, nunchuck rules are shown as completely fine, it's a concession to gameplay. I totally agree, and that is why we made the unpredictable what's it called? Unpredictable. When
Quality.
making an attack with this item or weapon, you may add bonus successes towards the opportunity cost for activating weapon qualities. However, if you have 0 successes or explosive successes in an attack, you must defend against the threat of the weapon's base profile. So there's a chance it could come back and bite you in the butt, but that's going to be super rare. And if you're skilled, it's probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
and we also gave it the cool aspect of being able to be disarming and snaring.
exactly.
So you can grab somebody with it or disarm their weapon with it, and that satisfies that rule of cool. There's a reason to take this weapon and use it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I think we threaded that needle very nicely between fantasy and realism, because there's going to be that one guy at the table that's going to be,
Well,
actually, though, the nunchucks can hurt you back. And that's what unpredictable does. It makes that guy shut the F up.
Yeah. Exactly.
That I would keep in mind that some are just going to be bad choices, but that's okay. Some bum weapons. There are bum weapons. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like the hand hammer. The small hammer is kind of
hammer.
the baby hammer is kind of a bad weapon, but in a pinch, if you're doing work outside with a hammer and you got to use it, you got to use it. You got a profile for it.
I would like to make all sorts of knives instead of just a Tonto. I think Tonto,
I think Tonto, Iguchi.
I think a chef's knife. I think woodsman saw. You know those saws that you see in anime that are like bladed on both sides and have the stick in the middle?
They're called the Japanese. Yeah, that's the Japanese hand saw.
Yeah.
They're
I would love to
really interesting.
Make weapons for that and put them under the knife category. Like,
yeah,
cool. They're not going to be great weapons, but they're going to be cool.
But they can exist. Yeah.
I mean, I made for the Shadow Empire game, I made and statted out funeral markers.
Yeah.
That they're using as bokken. And
which is
I
awesome.
haven't revealed something special
Why?
that's going to happen when you get in combat with these guys, but
it's going to happen soon.
I'll give you one hint. Do you think they do physical or spiritual damage? Spiritual damage, baby.
Yeah. 100%. I'd be upset if they didn't do spiritual damage. Yeah. I also think this adds an interesting. Speaking of, this adds an interesting question to how we want to do elemental weapons, the elemental counterparts to weapons. If they act differently, if they have another quality to themselves, like ephemeral.
Yeah.
Interesting questions. Anyway,
so
we can get into that later, and I also think we should go into detail at some point in our rules document about Nimurani and how they interact, because I want them to be a little bit more realistically prevalent and capable of being utilized by PCs instead of just all these legendary, super rare, only one in existence that is in the hand of your clan champion. Why would you ever be able to touch this? Because you're just a random samurai. I'd like there to be a little bit of a touch of magic to the world and have
we need
explored.
We need Nimurani that PCs can have and hold and feel like they're special.
Exactly. They don't have to be super powerful, but like you did in Shadow Empire, you've added little things that add a nice little twist. They're not super overwhelming to the game state, but they are impactful. Like the katana that Naorin wields.
If I were to redo that katana, I would reduce vigilance by 1, not by 2, because I think I made it a tick more powerful than I want it to be, because vigilance is a huge stat.
Yeah, it is. It can be really potent.
And it's very low in numbers. Like a 2 or a 3, no one has a 4. So bringing it down by 2 instead of by 1, I think I went one tick over, but it's fine. I am
Yeah,
perfectly fine with it. Have fun with the cool weapons that I give you.
yeah. I think it was really fun.
That said, uh, I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, Adventures in Rokugan have rules that make your weapons Nimorani and grow with you. And that's one of the
I like that.
coolest things about Adventures in Rokugan. One of the things that I just love about that game. And I know everybody, like, it's fun to say Adventures in Rokugan, blah, blah, blah. It's not our, but yeah, there are some cool ideas in it. I'm not going to lie. We need, after Shadow Empire is over, we're playing Adventures in Rokugan, Tarek.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, something I like to do. This is from Elizera Costa Gonzalez. Something I like to do is limit the range of weapons a character can use depending on their clan and family. If they want to learn additional style, they got to spend XP. Unwieldy would probably require additional, and it just trails off there. I want to know what this guy's talking about. I made a reply that I don't understand properly. Could you give an example? And they did not. I want to know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting, and I am piqued. My curiosity is piqued, but I think he died mid-comment. So if you're still out there, Gonzalez, please return.
Please come back.
Please come back and explain yourself. I want to know.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. Certain clans, certain families do have this kind of like attachment to a specific type of weapon. So I think that's kind of where they're going with it, is that you're trained more specifically in your school to utilize X weapon. That being said, there are other schools in the lore that are like, they have to train with every single weapon before they can pass their Genpuku, like the Akoto, whatever school, soldier school or whatever. In lore, they can't, and I think the Matsu are the same. They can't pass their Genpuku unless they can show proficiency with every single weapon, like martial weapon, Bugei weapon, or whatever. And if they fail to show proficiency with every weapon, some of them are asked to kill themselves. Like, oh, you can't use this. You never learned how to use a fan? Fuck out of here. Go kill yourself, kid. Like, so like, I don't know how to like effectively translate that idea.
Okay.
Because that would be like, some schools only know how to use a bow, and some schools know how to use every single weapon that exists. You know what I mean? That's tough to run.
Yeah, 100%. One last comment. This does not. We're done with the comments from our last video. So thank you everybody who left comments there. Chat us up. Let us know how we're doing, either live or afterwards, and we definitely will talk and maybe change things if we think you're right. We've done this before. I just want to say, from my how to play Legend of the Five Rings complete video, I made a huge supercut of the entire
3-hour
thing.
video. Yeah.
3-hour video. A guy named Derek.
When you throw it in the background while you work and just.
Yeah. Derek Cochran says, I, for one, would love to see you do a Game Master video. Mainly the mechanical parts as it is in L5R. I am giving it a lot of thought.
I think that's a smart idea too.
Making a little bit of scripting for it. Going to talk about the extreme deadliness rules, the how to do NPCs, because NPCs are. We've talked about this before, Tarek. NPCs are a train wreck in the game. Yeah. So I'm giving it a lot of thought, and maybe. But thank you for everybody for all the love on how to play L5R complete. That was wonderful. That I got. Yeah. I didn't have to do much work to put them all together. I did put little new notes in the video to clarify some things, but they were very, very. I didn't have to do that very often. I think twice, maybe in the entire 3 hours. But other than that, like, thanks for all the love. I really appreciate it. I should get back to making more L5R stuff. But I still got to make some money. So please check out my backer kit for City and Starlight. It's going to be for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, Cypher, and Dungeons & Dragons. So check that out. And I think
3-in-1.
On the site, there's going to be examples of adventures that I wrote that I'm giving out for free. It's going to be, if you know my Party Crashers adventure where goblins attack a beer garden, I'm going to put that on the site on the backer kit for free so everybody can take a look at how I make adventures and see if you like that. And there will be a version there for Cypher and Dungeons & Dragons, and I'm working on the Pathfinder version as well. So there will be all three there, and you can see and be like, I would love to support this. That's what I'm hoping. Mm-hmm. And tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your kids.
Tell your wife's boyfriend.
He lets me play his Xbox.
Yeah. I'm using his Netflix account all the time. Yeah. Use his Amazon Prime account to subscribe to Twitch channels.
Okay. Let's get into this. Range weapons, bow, daikyu.
Yeah.
That's right.
So range 3 to 5, I think, is fair, right?
I think it's fair too.
Deadliness is a 4 for a daikyu. I feel like that's a bit low.
6.
Yeah. 6, you think? Okay.
We've been adding 2 to them, and that seems right. Correct. Yep, it's two-handed.
It is considered war gear.
Qualities. So here's the thing. This is something I want to ask you and the people out there in YouTube land. All games allow you to attack with your arrows every turn. But drawing your weapon, that's always an action. Is drawing an arrow and firing a single action? Or is it every other turn? Because you're drawing an arrow and then you're attacking and then you're drawing an arrow. You know what the answer is?
The thing that's most fun.
Which is drawing an arrow and attacking every turn. It's like, I think that's the answer. I think about it though. This is like something that comes up in my brain where I'm like, oh yeah, like drawing something or getting something out of your bag is an action. Therefore, getting an arrow is an action. But like no one wants that. Nobody wants that.
I could see that being the case if you didn't have like a quiver to quick draw from, because archers are taught to quick draw from a quiver very quickly and without even thinking about it.
Yep.
But I could also see, like, if you had 0 skill in ranged weapons, having to do it slowly.
So
you're not as proficient as like aiming a shot.
The ask is then here, because when you see archers out in the field, you have a commander that
is keeping a tempo.
Everybody draws, everybody
aims,
pulls, everybody fires. And he will say all of those things to keep that tempo and rhythm of the arrows up, so you have maximum coverage with your arrows because they're all coming at the same time. That is, you know, so what am I saying?
And
so
the only time you fire at will in that sense is when you are beared down on.
Yeah. So the thing is do we say that if you don't have a point in martial arts ranged that you have to spend an action getting out an arrow? Because as soon as you get a point, then you're trained. Or do we just let that go and not care at all? Is that too in the weeds?
It might be too in the weeds.
I think so.
Um, that being said, I feel like that's a thing that would be necessary for things like blowguns and crossbows and maybe even shuriken.
So we're gonna go to the book real quick, and there is uh, a thing in the book. Prepare. The Oyumi has prepare.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, this item must be reloaded, reset, or otherwise prepared after use. After you use this item, you cannot use it again until it has been prepared. As a support action while it is readied, you may prepare this item for use.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is if you use a blowgun or a shuriken like that, prepared, right? They are such weak weapons that it doesn't seem at all useful. Like, oh my god, I have to. But that's why, like, when you watch GI Joe, Quick Kick has his shuriken on his, like, right here, so you can pull out and throw it.
A bandolier.
He's got it on his little red sash, right? Everybody knows Quick Kick from GI Joe, right? All of you out there, you know who Quick Kick is. Y'all are Quick Kick guys, just like me.
I think so. There's the problem that shuriken are forbidden, right? They have the forbidden. They're part of a forbidden usage, right?
Nope. They are just concealable. They are not forbidden. Anybody can have little sharp things in their pocket to throw at people.
Well, then I would say as long as they are concealed, they have the prepared quality. If they are not concealed, if they're just obviously on your person or prepared in your hand, you could prepare like a handful of them, then not. But you don't have use of those hands.
You can palm a whole bunch of them in your palm at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
but that's preparing them. If you've prepared a handful of them,
well, that's not prepared. That's simply drawing.
Well, yeah, exactly.
So any weapon needs to be drawn, even shurikens. So I think we're good there. I think we don't have to add any more rules because every weapon needs to be drawn.
Sure.
So I think we're good. No, I think we're good. So a Daikyu, I think we're good with Daikyu. Yep. And we can add horsebow. Let me get to the dock view here real quick for everybody. So a horsebow has a range of what in the book?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
And a 5 deadliness. So it's shorter range, but packs a bigger punch.
Why would a horsebow have a bigger punch than a Daikyu? Daikyus are those big...
Daikyu is a horsebow.
No.
Right? It's designed to fire on horseback.
A horsebow is a horsebow.
No. A Daikyu is a horsebow, and a horsebow is a Shinjo-specific type of short bow that fires shorter distance. It's like a compact, almost like like a composite bow.
Let me read you what it says under Daikyu. Daikyus are large composite bows designed to be fired from horseback, conventionally around 6 feet long. Wow, they're the gigantic bows.
Yeah, they're the longbow.
Yeah,
the longbow that you fire on horseback.
Daikyus differ from other bows in that they have an asymmetric shape. Their grip is about 2/3 away from the top, making the top curve longer than the bottom. This allows bows to be fired easily from horseback in either direction. Daikyu is made from a custom fit, and I am going to do a image search for Daikyu. not
Yeah,
DIQ, DIQ. We're going to do an image search.
I'd say they should
And
have a quality that says you can't really fire this from standing easily.
no, it looks like she's firing it easy from standing. No, I've seen archers like they stand there and fire these bows on foot and they
Well,
don't
because
have any problem.
Yumi are also very long bows, so I'm not sure
So
if what
let's
you're
check
seeing
out
is
let's check
actually a
out Yumi.
Daikyu and not a Yumi.
Let's check out you know that is a Korean actor named Yumi. Uh
Cutie,
Yumi
cutie.
bow. There it is. And this looks identical to a Daikyu.
Yeah, because a Yumi is the one with it short, like the handle is short from the bottom. The Daikyu is short from the top, and one is designed to be shot from foot, and one is designed to be
Huh.
shot from horseback.
Wait a minute.
So I think what they're showing you is internet not knowing what the difference is.
Yeah, because this is Yumi bow for cute.
Yeah,
No, this says Daikyu and it looks exactly the fucking same.
Kyudo.
Looks exactly the freaking same. Look, we are not Japaneseologists here.
We are not. We are not
we're,
Japaneseology
we're trying our
masters.
best. We need to talk to that Japanese dude.
Kyudo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we need to
we
talk.
need to talk to a Kyudo master.
We need to talk to at least somebody who knows a lot more about Japanese stuff. There's some guys who do some really good YouTube shorts. We should invite them
Yeah,
out. We should invite them on the show.
Kyujitsu. Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're doing
Well, it's
weapons,
about
but then
Kyujitsu.
again, like you said, fantasy stuff. Thinking fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's
let's
obviously supposed to be a difference in the game between a Daikyu, which is supposed to be a bow you fire on horseback,
right.
and a Yumi, which is supposed to be a bow you fire on foot.
Shinjo horsebows among the unicorn. Many adopted the weapon that is a small, sturdy bow used by nomadic people of the steppes called the Shinjo horsebow. In Rokugan, this weapon is a compact bow designed to be fired back from the moving horse. It is short range, intended for raiding cavalry attacks. This is your recurve bow.
Yeah, exactly. It's a recurve. It's a what do they call them? Not composite. The compound bow. Like a compound bow.
Daikyu is a composite bow.
Not
Um,
composite. Compound. Recurves are compound bows because they add extra
I
tension to the
guess
draw.
I'm not 100% sure what the word compound means. Hey Johnny,
It
yeah, we're
means
still working. We're
made of.
finishing up weapons with bows here, and we're having arguments over what a Daikyu and a Yumi is.
Yeah,
um, I would say, and you're saying that a Shinjo horsebow has a higher deadliness.
that's what it says in the
Does
book.
have a higher deadliness. Why does it have a higher deadliness than
Because it
a?
has a lower damage. Because it's supposed
Yeah,
to be a rating thing that you're targeting. Like a typical Kyudo is like you're aiming a shot in the air that travels and like does a parabolic arc and hits. A horse bow is more like a Mongol raiding bow where you're firing directly at target.
right, right. Okay.
So less distance, but more punch.
So, um, I think you're right. I think a Daikyu needs a quality that says if fired, uh, if you fire it from standing, uh, something something something. So while not on horseback or while fired from standing, +1 difficulty or something,
Mounted.
or not mounted.
Well, mounted is Daikyu,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, mounted, and then make a quality called mounted.
Hmm.
Okay, sure. We might give this to some polearms. I don't know. Probably not. Mounted. When not mounted, um, difficulty increases by 1. TN, yeah, TN to hit. That's what they call it in L5R. TN.
Like
Would
that?
Daikyu be one intended for mass battle archer fire? From horseback, yeah. I mean,
Well, yeah, you have cavalry. So you have the light cavalry archers and you have heavy cavalry archers. I think these would be more heavy cavalry archers, while the Shinjo horsebowmen are more like, Mongol light cavalry, where they're running around with archer and then they can run
yeah,
up with a
they're
pole arm or
recurve bow.
something.
Ayumi is your standing
Sure.
archer army kind of thing.
Yeah, strange that it's not considered war gear as well, considering I think Yumi's would be considered war gear, personally.
I don't
I guess
know.
it
I'm
could be
still
considered an
like,
art form too.
could a Yumi be a smaller bow and a Daikyu just be the really large bow? I don't know. I don't. So just do what you want, Tarek. I can't do this anymore. I'm out.
So I think war gear goes on all of them. I think mounted for Daikyu and for
I don't think War Gear goes on
Warco.
Yumi because I think a Yumi is used for hunting.
That's true. And like art, it is also an art
Uh huh.
form to do Kyudo. Okay. I think mounted should go on the horsebow as well, which would kind of fuck over Kuranagi's build right now, but still is probably more appropriate.
If you say so.
Um,
I,
because
I think
well, because
recurve
Kuranagi
bows can
uses a
be
horsebow.
recurve
Yeah.
bows can be fired from standing and mounted
Okay.
equally.
Okay, that's perfectly fair. Let's not screw my character over. I think a 7 deadliness because we're adding 2 to it,
Okay,
and I think a Yumi gets a 5 deadliness.
sure.
Um,
A Yumi doesn't get any qualities. It's a Yumi.
and then 3 and 3 Kogi.
Yeah, just give Yumi Aijutsu just for the giggles so they can quick draw it.
Yeah.
Love that. Um.
Or throne, give it the throne quality. Or,
All right.
um,
Oh, Yumi.
are there any other qualities that we think should be included in ranged?
I don't think so. I think we're good for right now. I'd like to see the comments on this. I may go back, but
This is a deadliness 3, which is nonsense.
the Oh Yumi is deadliness 3.
No, yeah, an Oyumi is a deadliness 3, which is a crazy number to pull out for a crossbow,
Yeah,
which are known to be more deadly but shorter ranged, potentially, especially early crossbows.
yeah. So this is 2 to 5. I'd make this 2 to 4. I think an Oyumi should be 2 to 4. I think it should be deadliness 6,
Yeah.
and that's it. I think that there you go.
And 40 Koku sounds about right. These are like specialist weapons that are only really used on the wall or by like step people of the Yobanjin or something. 3.
It says to fight deadly forces of the Shadowlands.
Yeah,
Consists
exactly.
of a recurve or traditional bow laid out horizontally in a long stock, held shoulder to shoulder, fired, blah blah blah. Give it a giant killer. Give it giant killer 1 if it's for
Oni
Shadowlands
Killer?
defense. Oni killer 1, yeah. Give it Oni killer 1.
That's what I was asking about for the other ones. If you wanted to say that Daikyu or something would be Oni
I
Killer
don't think
or
so.
Oni Slayer or Goblin Slayer. Um,
Nope.
I don't know.
Blowgun. I think I think the blowgun is perfect. I think the blowgun is
Two,
perfect.
two deadliness.
Yeah. Like it's a needle. You're gonna be
Yeah.
like, ow. Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think blowgun is perfect. Comma is a thrown weapon. It says melee. It says it's these next three weapons say melee instead of ranged. They're specialist
They're true.
weapons, but they have the thrown quality. Yeah, shuriken or melee.
Okay. Strange, but
They can
just
be
do
used
it.
melee or ranged. You can keep them in
They
your hand
can,
and
yeah.
punchify somebody with them.
Actually thrown.
Kasurigama aren't thrown. Well, they kind of are, but they kind of aren't. They're chain weapons. So if you throw it, that
Yeah, you're
assumes.
throwing part of the weapon while holding on to another
So it's
part, right?
not
You're
thrown.
throwing
It's
the
just
chain.
it's just a range 2 to 3 in two hands. That's all it is. Because you're not actually. It's not. Yeah, range 2 to 3 in two hands. Yeah, it just changes the
Okay.
range on it. Um, how is a Kasurigama concealable? Interesting. I will give Kasurigama unpredictable. Concealable, snaring, war gear, all those are good, plus unpredictable. I would give Kama the mundane quality. It is a threshing tool used to get rice or millet or something. I don't think it's rice. I think I'm wrong on that. But I think it's a threshing tool for some sort of gardening. Given the way that poison has worked by increasing deadliness, I think 2 is viable. Yes, I agree. Yeah. Thank you, Johnny.
What do we want to do? Deadliness on a comma.
Kama, make it 5. Increase it by 2. Kasurigama, same way. And then
And
Shuriken
then
2. Shuriken,
shuriken.
let's make it 4.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
4 is
I think,
fair
yeah.
because you can poison those as well.
Well, it's not just that you can poison them. It's just that on their own, they can do slashing damage. They can kind of rip you up, which means that puts it on just to the cusp of getting wounded if you get no successes on a. Yeah. Boop boop doo. Yeah, you don't have to put throne there. You can just put the throne quality under qualities because it's a quality now, right? In it, yeah. Throne is a quality.
So then we can do this.
So,
Ugh.
no. What are you
Cool.
doing? No, watch. Watch. We do this. We go X. We go there, and we get rid of this. Boom.
That's what I
Done.
was doing.
Yeah.
Get rid of that too, and then we do this. Dash.
There we go.
Um,
I know it
six.
does that in the book. Hand, stabber, slash. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know why you. Maybe because people don't know that you can actually do that. Oh. Personally, instead of shuriken in the main book, I would have put kunai because kunai are awesome. Kunai, shuriken, and you can put kunai on this list. I don't want. I don't want to say anything. um, give Kama. I think yeah. Give Kama razored edged.
So then would we do the same thing with Kusarigama? Considering it's a
Um,
comma on one side and a weighted chain on the other?
there you go. How you like them apples?
Okay, yeah.
One hand it's razored edge, two hand it's range 2 to 3. Boom! I've just blown your mind.
Okay. Any notes? Anything else we need to introduce here?
Oh,
I think that's good.
take over the show here. I gotta go talk to somebody real quick.
Okie dokie. I'll start heading out the armor values now. So armor is going to be a little strange because armor has physical resistance that we're going to need to calculate a little differently, considering our damage values are different. So I'm not going to fill those in fully yet. 2 and 1 cuckoo. I'll fill in the rest of these as such. 1 boo. I can't believe sleeping guard is like a koku. Like, if you want to sleep comfy at night, you're gonna pay top dollar, top koku for it. It's a little funny. Apparently, sleeping clothes in Japan are, or in Rokugan at least, are super expensive. You're gonna spend a year's worth of your food on getting clothes. Sleep in.
Oh,
5 koku, 6, 25 koku, and 8, 40 koku. And let's go in with qualities, mundane. We got ceremonial and resplendent. You don't hear the word resplendent nearly enough nowadays.
no, you don't.
Yeah. One of those words you really want to hear more often. Concealable
Hurry,
or gear.
Somebody just stopped by and I need to give them a thing.
Go ahead.
It's taken 3 minutes to upload. I forgot to prepare it.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Okay, let's talk about armor for 3 minutes. Like I said, I don't think armor should reduce the amount of fatigue that you take. I think it should.
It should lower the severity.
It should. No, it shouldn't lower severity either. It should determine how many opportunity you need to get through the armor to do the critical hit.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's what I figured should happen. Yeah. But I've kind of been overruled. I'm okay with it now. The thing is common clothes, ceremonial clothes, these things, why do they have an armor value, a reduction value?
I guess because like anything is better than nothing. But then why does sleeping clothes not have one?
Right? I don't understand any of this. I really don't.
Like I understand the idea that like common clothes and traveling clothes might be thicker, made of thicker material, and as such might be a little harder. Like a gambeson, they would act like a gambeson almost, where they provide a little bit of protection because they're maybe a little padded, maybe a little layered.
Concealed armor has the same resistance as traveling clothes. So
Yeah,
why wear
crazy.
concealed armor at all? Just wear traveling clothes. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Just always be wearing traveling clothes, considering it's durable as well and subtle. It has better qualities to it, and it's cheaper. You can have like 10 sets of, or more actually. Now that I think about it, you can have like five sets. Oh, 2 sets. 2 sets per koku for 5 koku. That's 10 plus 2. So 12, almost 13 pairs of traveling clothes for 1 pair of concealed armor. And just like, if it gets damaged, just pull out another one.
Right.
Put them on. Right?
So this is what I'd like to do with all this. I don't know what sleeping garb is for old Japan. Is that just your skippies? Are you just wearing like your, I don't know. Okay. I'll be right back. Most Rokugan possess no dedicated sleeping clothes, but those that suffer sufficient wealth or status, a loose robe,
a shift or a jinbei while sleeping. The jinbei consists of short, loose, short sleeve jacket that
It's the same as common clothes. I'll be right back.
Arba should probably hold the same weight as whatever common clothes ends up being. I think ceremonial clothes should probably contain some sort of uh maybe like a spiritual aspect to it because they're ceremonial and resplendent. Sanctified robes, I think, are fine the way that they are. Maybe just supernatural protection and not any physical protection, maybe, because they're made of higher quality materials that might be easily destroyed. Um, is there a fragile quality to item qualities? I don't think. Um, damaged is not the, or maybe it is. Maybe it is the canceling, the opposite canceling of durable. But I kind of also feel like there should be a fragile item quality that is the opposite of durable, that it becomes damaged more easily. Um, and that would work especially well with armor. Have as much protection, or if they do have protection, they just break apart pretty quickly afterward. Um, they don't have the same level of durability. Um, hmm. Silk and linen are most common textiles for organic clothing, but cotton, satin, and more exotic imported fabrics are used to make clothing for wealthy and important individuals. Footwear and accessories. You have sandals and tabi socks, while
I'm
most peasants
back.
go barefoot. Welcome back.
I had to
Donald with
deliver a
hat and
video to
gloves
a
close.
client. If anybody's wondering what I had to do.
Oh yeah, it totally wasn't a drug deal on a ride.
No.
Um,
Okay.
totally not.
So I'm thinking just all clothes should have a physical of 1. I don't care what your clothes are.
I still like the idea of um it reducing or causing, like, not necessarily a, what am I trying to say? Not necessarily a like requiring opportunity to deliver a critical strike, but causing a, what were we calling them? A consequence.
Right. Tarek died. Crap. I died. No, it's me. What just
Oh,
happened?
you did kind of die. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, give me a second.
Okay.
My All right, I'm back on YouTube. Am I back in Moonbeam? Who knows? Nope, the Moonbeam stream is off. Maybe it never was there to begin with. Oh, there we go. Nope, we're back. We're back everywhere. Okay, excellent. I think that was my internet that just decided
Yeah.
to crap out on me. Okay, you think there should be like regular clothes and oh, you think there should be like a consequence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um
to armor. I think armor should inherently cause consequences for an attack. I was also, while you were gone, talking about, so there's the durable quality, and I feel like certain items, especially armors, should have the opposite of that, which is fragile quality, which makes it easier to damage, right?
Yeah, they're not
Um,
necessarily damaged stuff. They just will. They don't. They can't become damaged. They just go from straight to destroyed.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is fair to say. Like ceremonial clothes might give you some physical protection, but will become damaged instantly after being, absorbing a hit.
I think there should be a ritual that will give any type of clothes that you're wearing to supernatural resistance
I
for
also
like
like
a
that.
day or something like that. I
Mhm.
don't know why that
Or
doesn't
a scene.
exist.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Yeah, that's mage armor basically.
But yeah, so common clothes, ceremonial clothes, sanctified robes, even sleeping garb. Give it a physical one. That's fine.
Uh-oh.
If we're reducing uh the amount of fatigue, I'm good with that. You don't have to write. You can just do P or S. Yeah. So here's the thing: traveling clothes or heavy duty clothes I've seen for some NPCs. Do those give two? And if they give two, then concealed armor should give three.
I agree. Concealed armor should have more. Um, it should be like Ashigaru armor, but I feel like it should be more expensive than Ashigaru armor.
Yeah, exactly. Like concealed armor should be more expensive, higher rarity, that
Yeah,
sort of
I'd
thing.
say let's do 10 Koku and 6 rarity.
And that is your balancing factor.
Hmm. That it's harder to get,
It's
period.
harder to get, it's harder to find. Right. It's harder to
Okay.
make.
And then we go physical
Four,
4 and physical 5.
physical five. I'm good with that.
And the lacquered armor and plated armor are both cumbersome. Plated armor is durable. War gear, war gear, war gear. Yeah, that looks good.
So
I'd also say like
give sleeping
all of
garb,
these.
give sleeping garb fragile.
I'd
There.
also say ceremonial clothes should be fragile.
I don't know. A lot of ceremonial clothes are kind of a bit more rugged than you think that they are. Like the spiritual archer people, like their
Mhm.
clothes are not like their clothes are no joke. Do you, I mean, you've seen anime where they just run around in those all day through the woods, and they seem fine.
That's true.
They're in a. I mean, that's a cartoon, and cartoons would never lie to me.
They've never lied before. Why would they start now?
I know, right? So yeah,
Uh,
sleeping garb should be fragile.
items
Give it
with
physical one,
the
but fragile, so
fragile
it's easy to get destroyed. That makes more
quality
sense to me.
that become damaged instead gain the destroyed condition. Perfect. Okay. I think
All right.
that's all of our equipment so far. The rest is item qualities. We could do arrows. I have to get back to where the arrows list is. But that's pretty much it.
Okay. Do you think we should add a quality to certain weapons that increase the amount of opportunity you need to do a critical hit? Like concealed and Ashigaru armor need +1 opportunity, lacquered and plated armor need +2 opportunity or something like that, or just +1
I
opportunity.
think I think that would be good. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it
Um,
makes sense.
it does,
We can
doesn't it?
say one of them is.
Protective. Just call it protective
I
with
was gonna say ablative, but protective is
ablative.
more.
So that sounds good too. And then have a do one of those parentheses X's. And that is additional opportunity needed to create a critical hit. And we'll figure out how that works for NPCs later. Yes. NPCs. Hold on. Let me do this. Must spend additional strife equal to X to perform a critical strike. Boom. Done. Easy peasy. Figured it out.
So like that.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Johnny's last comment. Are you going to do all weapons in the other books? I need my ninja claws. And the answer is no. We're only doing the core rule book right now. Feel free to kind of take what we did here and make some own rules and then give them to us and we'll put them in maybe. We'll obviously if you join my
wait a very long time until we get to the point where we can update other rules.
You can always join my Patreon and then access this document that we're using right here and then make a note on it that says, hey, add this or do this or add, and we will take those super duper seriously. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yep. Add notes. That's it for today. We need to do other things in our life. We got Shadow Empire coming up tonight. Yeah. Right?
I will add in over this next week arrow qualities into a separate like sidebar underneath range in the notes section.
Sure.
That way all the arrows are there. And next time, what do you want to try tackling next?
We gotta do. I don't want to do the social rules. What's it called? Intrigues, and I don't, because I don't have good ideas of what to do with that. But we kind of need to have a conversation about it.
Okay. Let's do a little bit of opening up a dialogue about how we want to get our ideas out there and try to organize some stuff. I know there are people out there that are like, intrigues. I've gotten comments that are like, intrigues one of my favorite parts of the game. We do great with it in our play session. And I'm just like, how does that work? And some people say, well, we don't use the same rolls every roll for, like it says in the book. We mix it up with different skill rolls. And I'm like, so yeah, you have to change the rules. Mm-hmm.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah, we got to change the rules. We got to make it more like easy to understand, easy to grok. Because right now they are not easy to grok. They feel like they just bog everything down, and that is a problem.
I gotta say, under these arrow rules here, I don't see, like, all of this seems to be perfectly fine. The only thing I would do is give armor piercing instead of ignoring 2 points of the target's physical resistance. Get rid of ablative. It ignores ablative.
It removes ablative, yeah. And there are more qualities. I was gonna just bring all the arrow qualities out and write them out.
Oh yeah, and holy, unholy, and holy. We are those qualities we need to change. We need to change those. Not ceremonial, but the unholy quality and the sacred quality. Personally, I don't like that the sacred quality just says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you a creature from another realm? All of your resistance now goes away." And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what it like. I attack two guys with Kappa who have large shells, and it's like, well, I have the sacred quality, so I slice right through the shell. That
Mhm.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, my weapon has zero quality, or I summoned a elemental weapon, and now your shell
I
means nothing to me.
I could see it like reducing resistance by half, but now that we made ablative, I can just be like, it ignores ablative.
Yeah.
Doesn't that make sense?
Hmm. It just needs to be applied to NPCs at that point. Yeah.
So yeah. Tell me what you guys think. We gotta go.
Yeah.
We really
Take care.
do. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next week. From Tarek, my name is Corey. Go roll some dice.